Alrighty guys, what is going on everybody? Welcome back here to another live stream. I hope everyone is having a great Monday night. Hope everyone is doing good out there. Let's go ahead and see who we have ourselves here for today, but first let's go ahead and dive right on into it, my friends, because we got new Wi-Fi now. Hopefully that'll, hopefully it'll be a little better. Knock on wood, let's hope so. Anyways, but yeah, let's see who we got here for today. We got ourselves Kathleen, we have Julia, we have F63, we have Brock, we have Mark, we have Kids Storm Coverage, we have Crimson, Haley, we have, let's see, Bill, let's see here, Cindy, Roadster. What's up, everybody? Hope everyone's doing good. Once again, glad to have you all here. So, we got a lot of stuff popping off here, ranging from the tropics to severe weather to winter weather. It's all starting to happen now. We're going to start off this live stream here talking about the tropics, and obviously starting off here with Tammy. Yeah, because Tammy is currently still a hurricane here. We're going to go ahead and turn this the cone on and all that fun stuff. So yeah, Tammy is currently still a hurricane out there in the Atlantic. It is directly north of the Lesser Antilles now. It's pulled away, which is good news. It's back out mostly, directly over water. At the current moment, the system is, as the 5 o'clock p.m. update, we did an update on this here in my video here. But yeah, 75 sustained, so winds are constantly blowing at 75 with gusts getting up to 90 miles an hour here. Pressure is still 990 millibars, literally the same we did in that video I put out there not too long ago. And yeah, throughout its life cycle here, it's actually forecasted to remain a Cat 1 all the way up here until basically the morning of the 26th. Then it's going to be downgraded into a post-tropical, actually more into that tropical, that tropical storm type of, winds. But it's post-tropical, which is not considered a tropical storm, but in reality, it's pretty daggone similar. Now, you might notice actually here in this update, the system is actually curving back towards the U.S. Now, honestly, I'm not worried about this, guys. I know this could be a little alarming to a lot of people, but I don't think this is going to cause any problems for the U.S. Because what's going on here is we got a big streak of strong winds right over the western, or basically the coast here of eastern United States, and that is going to help keep the storm, basically rip it apart. So, overall, that's going to be pretty good. What's up, Diana? Hope you're doing good. Glad to have you here. Let's see here. F63, what's up? Hope you're doing good as well. But yeah, like I said, it is expected to remain a hurricane for the next couple of days, as it has been. It's been Cat 1 for a lot of its life cycle. I mean, it's been pretty much consistent, pretty much hovering for the last while, honestly. Which is, which in that instance, that is, pretty good. At least it's not getting any stronger here. And basically from here on out, I mean, it's basically just going to be getting weaker and weaker overall. But it's going to kind of hover for a little bit here. Like I said, right now, currently sustained at, 70, let's see here. Yeah, 75 sustained with gusts up to 90. There is a little bit of a little bit of strengthening in the forecast, but it's not expected to get anything terribly too crazy overall, so that's good news. Anyways, but yeah, we also do have ourselves the system down here. This is Tropical Depression 21 kicking off out here just north of Panama, nothing too crazy. And then we got Otis, Tropical Storm Otis out there in eastern Pacific. It's actually aimed right at southern Mexico. Okay, it's actually aimed right at southern Mexico. So we'll have to, watch out if you live out there by southern Mexico, by some of these regions that you guys can see towards, let's see, I'm terrible with pronunciation, so let's see here, Acapulco. I know I butchered that one, but in that region, that's kind of where the landfall is expected. The center of the storm could end up somewhere in this zone here, so the whole coast here needs to be looking out there for that. Overall. But yeah, that's what's going on in the tropics. I mean, we got ourselves the remains of Norma. Norma's pretty much just dead here. Not much going on with Norma. Honestly, things are pretty much good to go there with that system. Anyways, but that is essentially what we're looking at. Now, guys, I know what y'all are here for, and I tell you what, we're going to get right on into it here. So we need to talk about this winter weather regarding everything going on. So let's go ahead and hop over here. We're going to start off with the American GFS model. Taking a look here, obviously at the Futurecast. So we got ourselves a lot of moisture that's going to be building in across the upper northwestern United States here, basically between the 24th, mostly throughout the 25th here. Kicking up a lot of moisture. It's going to be some pretty heavy snow across areas, like those upper elevations of Washington State. Like I said, Washington State there for those upper elevations. Same thing for, Oregon State for the upper elevations as well. That whole mountain chain there is going to get absolutely dumped upon. Same thing across portions here throughout, a lot of Montana. If you live across Montana, this is probably going to be a pretty good snowstorm there for you. We work our way down in time throughout the 26th. Heavy snow starts to continues to fall across Montana, but actually really starts to kick up across like Wyoming, according to this model. And of course, the GFS has this continuing into the Dakotas as well, North-South Dakota, potentially getting a good amount of snow here as well. We'll talk accumulations here in a moment, and then it works its way out. Now, the GFS has actually been hinting of another system, another possible little clipper, little snow system popping up directly after that for pretty much like the 28th. I'm not going to rule it out right now, but I'm not really counting on it too much right now. But we'll have to continue to see how that goes. Let's just pay attention to this first system first here, because there could be another round following behind it. I mean, we'll have to monitor that situation closely. But yeah, no, definitely got to watch out there for those upper elevations throughout Washington, Oregon. Upper elevations throughout Idaho, a lot of Montana, same thing for Wyoming, North, South Dakota, and eventually even portions like northern, northwestern Minnesota is actually in the forecast to see a decent amount of snowfall as well. So that's what's going on there. But let's go ahead and hop our way down here to the overall accumulation here. So once again, this is one model. This is obviously an opinion you should take. It's not factual. So like I said, trust this to your own self. Because, like I said, this model here is one opinion out of multiple opinions. As we're going to look at a few other models, obviously, to kind of, get a good idea. But I tell you what, GFS has not been going light on the totals here. You can kind of see across that kind of maroon color here. We're actually talking the potential here of over a foot across some of those regions. So it seems like the heaviest snow has been kind of consistent in the latest few GFS models to be kind of across like northwestern Wyoming into portions like south central Montana. It seems like that's where the heaviest, with a big streak going across portions here throughout, even central North Dakota. Possibly could see some areas here over a foot of snow. It's definitely a good possibility according to the GFS model overall. Like I said, that's where you see the maroon. Where the maroon color is, you can see the overall accumulation does get 12 inches, or basically a foot and over for the most part. Definitely becomes a lot more kind of, spotty throughout portions of South Dakota here overall. Not as much snow out in those regions here for the most part, but we're still talking a good amount, potentially maybe 3 to 5 for some of those regions here overall. And like I said, if you're across those upper elevations too in the upper northwest, the Pacific Northwest, you obviously have got to be looking out there for this here too, because we're going to be seeing snow as far south as like pretty much central California, up across those regions in the mountains, which obviously locally this could get pretty nasty for quite a few of those areas. So that's the GFS model. Just wanted to go ahead and mention that. Now before we dive into the accumulations of the ECMWF, let's go ahead and take a look here at the European model's perspective here overall. Pretty much the same thing, throughout the 25th here, we get a big shot of moisture that works its way in across the upper northwest here, really dumping a lot of heavy snow throughout portions of, Montana here really for the 25th. Pretty much the same thing as well with the GFS, so showing a lot of heavy snow throughout the upper elevations there of, Washington State into Oregon. It is definitely going to be very heavy up in those regions there. Upper elevations of Idaho, especially Montana, showing a good amount of snow out in these regions here. We continue to work our way down in time, basically for like the 26th into the 27th here. There's a lot of similarities. I'm honestly surprised. Like I said, I'm definitely surprised at how well the GFS and the ECMWF have came to agree here. Still showing some snow rolling in through the 27th across portions of the Dakotas. which we got to look out there for. And this model in particular, the ECMWF, the European model here, doesn't show as much snow happening out there towards like Minnesota. Honestly, it shows hardly any. So Minnesota snow is definitely still a subject to change. Obviously it is a big subject to change here, because the GFS showed a lot of heavy snow. Meanwhile, while the ECMWF shows mostly just rain, close to that snow line though. But yeah, still keeps the Dakotas though in the snow for the most part. So that's what they agree on here overall. So obviously they agree on different things. They're mostly similar, believe it or not, for the most part. But let's go ahead and hop over here to the accumulations here. The 10-to-1 snow ratio. This is what we use here overall. And like I said, pretty much the same thing overall. I mean, for the most part. Big streak of snowfall, still has Montana seriously covered in a lot of snow there. And in this case, it still is showing. Remember, we were talking northwest Wyoming into portions like south central Montana. The European model, the ECMWF, is actually showing, that's where the heaviest snow is potentially going to be. Also has it up there towards northern North Dakota instead of central North Dakota, kind of how the GFS was talking. So, it definitely seems like these areas in here is really in for the storm here, compared to both of the main models. I'm saying that this is going to be the biggest storm for mostly Montana, North Dakota, Iowa. Sorry, not Iowa, Idaho. So Idaho, Montana, northwest Wyoming for the most part, and a lot of North Dakota, and of course can't forget about those upper elevations out there throughout portions of Washington State and throughout Oregon. So basically in these regions here, for those upper elevations, you've really got to watch out, as those snow totals could easily exceed over a foot, in which that definitely does seem to be really good potential. So next up on the list here, like I said, it's obviously good to get many models, many opinions as you can, because it gives you more perspective on the storm. So here is the GDPS model. Now this is a Canadian. So we looked at the American model, we looked at the European model. This is the Canadian model, and honestly, all three of the models heavily agree on a big block of snow rolling through the Northwest, Pacific Northwest here. Basically here for the 25th. So throughout the 25th, we're going to get a lot of heavy snow throughout portions of Montana. Obviously, those upper elevations, once again, of Washington State and Portland, or not Portland, not just Portland, just Oregon, I should say. I don't think Portland's going to be included in any of the snow. Depends on the elevation here. Let me double check. Yeah, no, Portland I don't think is going to get any of this, but for those upper elevations just east of Portland, that's where we're going to get a lot of the heavy stuff according to these models here. But anyways, continues down in time, and actually, this model, the GDPS, kind of takes an approach similar to what both the American and the ECMWF, or the European model, had to say. So if you remember correctly, the GFS, the American model, had the system kind of cutting through portions of northwest Minnesota. This model does as well, but only to an extent here for the most part. But it definitely does still show a lot of heavy snow falling throughout the Dakotas here for the 27th. So that is that. So if you live across North-South Dakota, expect your snow to really fall for portions of late 26th into the 27th. If you live across portions, like Washington, Oregon, the heaviest snow for those upper elevations is gonna be basically for the early 25th. And of course, if you live across Montana, as well as portions like Idaho, it's mostly going to be between the 25th and 26th for those regions. So pretty much the 25th here, the 25th and 26th here, and the 27th here. So that's kind of what we're looking at for the timing of this system. But overall, all the models definitely do come to an agreement in showing this big blast of moisture and a lot of cold air along with it too, as we're going to see working its way down here in the upper Northwest, which is going to cause heavy snow accumulations, obviously cold conditions, and difficulty with travels, which is not good. I mean, yes, these people are used to this type of weather, but it's been a couple months since we've seen stuff like this, so it could be a little harder to get back in that groove. Now, whenever it comes to the accumulations out of this one, this will be like the last one we look at here regarding it, because we've already looked at all the other ones, the GFS, the ECMWF. Honestly, though, for the most part, let's see, we're just going to pause that. The Canadian model, honestly, is pretty much in the same boat for the most part than the other models. Has that snow line ending right across northern Minnesota. You know, if you live across northern Minnesota out there on the extreme northwestern side, you know, you have a decent shot at seeing some snow, but, you know, really I'd say, you know, North Dakota, you're pretty much certain to get snow out here. Same thing for like Montana and northwest Wyoming, you know, where some of the heaviest snowfall is actually going to be here. So definitely is, you know, what we are looking out there. That's what we're looking at. What's up, Rainbow? Hope you're doing good. Glad to have you here. Let's see here. Corey says, how is everyone? I'm doing good. Hope you're doing good yourself. But yeah, like I said, you know, honestly, I'm pretty, you know, pretty shocked, pretty surprised at the models and how well they're agreeing here. Honestly, like I said, not too bad from the models. Honestly, looking relatively good here. So now I want to talk more about the timing in terms of things, you know, in terms of what we can expect out of this here. We're going to hop up to the upper northwest here for this. So we work our way down in time, and the snow is going to really start to fall across those upper elevations here. Basically for the evening of the 24th. Now this is around 9 o'clock, as you guys can see right above me. That's the timing here, showing that first wave of really heavy snow across upper elevations of Washington into upper elevations of Oregon. Talking to be, you know, definitely pretty, you know, pretty hefty there. Some good snow falling across those regions. Same thing across portions here of Montana on the western side. Could be getting a bit of snow by them. Then we work our way down in time even further into the early 25th, and this just turns into a big block of snow, basically for the 25th here overall. You know, kicking off some snow even into portions like, you know, North Dakota. According to this in particular model being the NAM, showing basically the north side of, or the northwest side here of North Dakota getting snow as early as basically the afternoon of the 25th overall. So. But that's that, you know, just a big, you know, we got ourselves a big trough ejection kicking up in the upper northwestern side of the Pacific Northwest. Big old low pressure system carrying a bunch of moisture and a lot of cold air with it, is tracking to the east overall. And like I said, a lot of cool air is going to be resulting from behind it. We're going to be seeing a really good amount of snowfall out of this system here overall. Now, I do want to go ahead and show you guys here the temperatures as well. Like I said, we're going to be seeing some pretty frigid temperatures across the north overall with this system here. I mean, we're going to be seeing you know, a ton of cold air that is going to be driving down into the country. I mean, you can literally see that freezing point there. This is for the morning of the 28th, right around 8 a.m., 7 Central. You know, the cold front, or sorry, the freezing point is right at this line here. And you want to know something? The below freezing point is right in here. So there's some areas that could actually experience the negatives, really showing there across like southwestern Montana, into portions like east central portions of like Idaho, and those regions. You know, it's definitely going to be quite likely that, you know, even areas as far as you know, like basically northern South Dakota, throughout the entire state of North Dakota here. Montana could easily get into single digits, the teens and in the single digits. So it is really going to be cold across a lot of those regions out there. So that is that. You know, I just want to go ahead and mention that too. Is, you know, that cold air is going to be, you know, a bit of a pain. Definitely got to, you know, be prepared for that. You know, it's going to be cooling down a lot of the country, you know, not just the upper northwest. Eventually that cold air should reach further down in the country, cooling things off overall. But obviously if we go any further than this point, obviously, you know, this is for quite a few days down in time, things are going to change. You know, things are definitely going to change here. But overall, yeah, big blast of cold air is working its way down here. And we have, you know, got to look out there for that. Ragtie says it actually froze here last night. Wow, that's you know, that's actually a thing that's been starting to happen at quite a few places. Let's see here. Hazards. Let's see here. We have not touched on the hazards yet today. They've already started issuing. Wow, yeah, they've already started issuing those advisories and stuff. Look at that. So we got a lot of those pink areas there. Those are winter storm warnings. That's where winter storm conditions is expected. This shade of blue here, that is winter storm watches. And of course we have, kind of this purplish blue color. That's actually winter weather advisory, saying that there's some impacts of winter weather expected. So winter weather advisory across the purple, winter storm watch across that blue, and winter storm warnings, meaning you got to prepare for it across the pink. So obviously places throughout central, kind of north central Washington state, central western sides here of Montana is inside of that, inside of that winter storm warning. So make sure you guys are obviously prepared for that, and just make sure you guys are remaining safe out there. Other than that, a lot of the country is pretty much really not much going on. We got a little bit of a flood warnings. Let's see, is that flood warnings? I believe flood watch. Yeah, flood watch in effect for south central Oklahoma and a few counties up there in north central Texas is currently popping off there. But that's what's going on out there. Speaking of, let's go ahead and bring you all over here to this view. So there's actually a lot of rain that's been falling across portions here of Texas. Yeah, Texas has actually been getting a decent amount of rain. We actually mentioned this here yesterday and today that Texas is going to be experiencing a good amount of rainfall, which is actually much needed for a lot of these places out here overall. And whenever it comes to the the overall precipitation expectancy, we're going to go ahead and turn off the satellite and radar here. We're actually talking a really good amount of rainfall potential out there. We're going to be seeing a couple inches, definitely being a good possibility here overall, which is definitely quite good. And actually, look at this. I'm going to show y'all, move y'all back over here to this map, which is basically the same thing. But yeah, you can see the color table for this one, and some areas out throughout southwestern Oklahoma into basically west central Texas, we get above that 4-inch margin. So that's a good amount. It's a good amount of precipitation. Of course, we have ourselves a decent amount expected up here towards like Wisconsin too, throughout the next 3 days. This is the next 72 hours. So the next 3 days here, big streak of rain, going across the central U.S. So if you live in these regions here, big old hot dog there. So if you live in that region, expect there to be a decent amount of rainfall. Even the same thing for the upper northwest, but a lot of it up there is actually going to be in the form of snow. So once again, the first big snowstorm of the year here. But other than that, throughout the next 3 days, it's going to be relatively clear across the East Coast. Nothing too crazy. Let's see here. What does the yellow mean on the jet stream? This is not the jet stream. This right here, this yellow that you see, this is rainfall accumulations of around 4 inches expected. So that's what's going on there. That's why we actually have, I believe that's why we have those flooding. Those flood watches in effect for some of those regions there is because south central sides of Oklahoma, west central Texas here is actually forecasted to get into the zone of like I said, flooding potential. And let's see, for those exact areas too. For those exact areas. Basically throughout portions of south central Oklahoma. And north central Texas, out there by like Wichita Falls, is in the flood watch, because flooding conditions is possible, especially considering the amount of rainfall we're talking at. So it's definitely gonna be pretty beneficial to some of those places. What's up, Wolf Gamer? Hope you're doing good. Glad to have you here. But that's what's going on there, my friends. Basically, with this system overall. We talked about the cold air, we talked about the precipitation, all that fun stuff for the most part. But, like I said, guys, definitely have got to be looking out there for that system. Once again, I would really keep your heads up if you live across a lot of these regions in here for the winter weather. Let's go and actually full screen this for you guys. But, I would definitely look out there for those regions here because, there's going to be a decent amount of snowfall across a lot of those areas here. Especially for those upper elevations there towards, Oregon and Washington states. That's where a lot of the snow is going to fall. The most snow is forecasted to fall kind of in this region here, right between southwestern Montana, and into northwestern portions here of Wyoming. That's where the heaviest snowfall is expected. But yeah, GFS, not just the GFS, ECMWF, the CM, or not the CMC. Pretty sure. Actually, let's look at the CMC model. And yeah, no, honestly, a CMC model has agreed pretty well too. Honestly, looking relatively the same for the most part. It is definitely looking fairly well. Not too bad. So we definitely are seeing ourselves, a lot of system rolling through, as a big mass overall. It's, not too bad. Definitely not too bad. But anyways, that's what's going on there, my friends. That is what we're seeing here. Let's see here. But we're going to go ahead and hop our way back over here to the tropics here. Let's see here. Oh, we're having problems. Oh, man. Here we go. Oh, boy. Let's see here. Alright, are we good now? Maybe? Maybe not. Let's see if we can revive this here. Hold on a minute, y'all. Okay. Alright, I think we might be back. Are we good? Are we good? Yeah, I think, let's see. Gotta love it. Are we good or are we bad? Are we still live? Okay. Are we live or are we not? Let's see here. Dude, we are... It is terrible. What is going on here? Okay, are we good now? Shoot. Yeah, I just need to get this whole thing worked out. Okay, we're back. Man, what's going on here? Yeah, as soon as I started loading these models, it just freaked out. Okay, well anyways, my friends. But yeah, no, that's, pretty much what we were talking about here. I mean, we basically talked about everything we really needed to. Like I said, we're going to be seeing ourselves, a pretty hefty snowstorm popping off across the country here. Like I said, it's our first one of the season. Our first one of the season here. We definitely have got to be, watching out there for it. Once again, I think the heaviest impacts is going to be across portions here of, Montana into Wyoming, obviously North, South Dakota, and northwest Minnesota here overall. Let's see here. Working out the kinks, of course. Yep. No, it seems to have been doing a lot better than my other one, I must say. I must have moved to the Bermuda Triangle. It sure seems like it, huh? Definitely seems like it. But anyways, my friends, well, like I said, I think I'm probably going to be heading out here, pretty soon. I am super tired, if you probably couldn't tell. I've had a heck of a long night here tonight, so I think we are going to call it a stream tonight. Like I said, if y'all want to know any more about the system, I did make a video on it here a couple hours ago, and stuff like that, so... like I said, but we pretty much covered everything we needed to. We talked accumulations, we talked about this, overall tropics and stuff like that. Can we look at Otis spaghetti model? Yeah, we can do that real quickly before we head off here. I can do that for you. Let's see here. We're gonna go ahead and see here. Otis. Yeah, there's really not much. Yeah, Otis spaghetti models are pretty whack right now. But yeah. Just wanted to say thanks for being there when I was afraid of bad storms during the summer. You're welcome, Maddie. You're very welcome. Like I said, I'm going to be here for y'all no matter what's going on. Throughout the thick and thin, I'll be here for you guys. Rainbow says, thanks for dressed up. Hope your evening goes well. Rest of your work, same to all in chat. Well, thank you, Rainbow. Greatly appreciated. You know what it is. I think I know what happened to the internet. I think they reset it. That's what happened. Because it's been working fine ever since. Yeah, it just loaded that model, no problem. I think they just reset the Wi-Fi and they didn't know I was live streaming. So I think that's what happened. I want to say that's what was going on. But anyways, all right, guys. Well, y'all take care. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your night. Like I said, my program over here cut out, so just gonna have to ignore that. But you guys take care. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your night. Like I said, we'll catch you guys tomorrow. I'll do a longer live stream tomorrow. Overall. Actually, before we head off here, before I do, something we did not do is look at the SPC. Before we roll off here, let's see here. So today's risk, we had 2 marginals, 2% TOR, nothing too crazy. Tomorrow, we got a risk for severe weather across southeastern Minnesota, central portions here of Wisconsin, and northern Michigan. Hail damaging winds, that's that. Day 3 here, this is for Wednesday. We got a risk across central Texas. So, yeah, nothing absolutely crazy. But okay, guys. All right, well, we're going to head off for real this time. Y'all have a good night. Like I said, once again, thank you for joining us. Kim says, thank you, Andrew. Very welcome. Very, very welcome. All right. Well, let's see here. Roadster says a great update. Thank you so much, Roadster. Really appreciated. See you later, Wolf Gamer. And, all right, guys. Well, stream's going to head off here in approximately 2 minutes, so go ahead and say your final goodbyes. Go ahead and say your friend or goodbye to your friend and family. And like I said, we'll do a lot longer of a live stream tomorrow. I'm just kind of whooped today. I've done a lot today. Plus, that made that video earlier, and yeah, just kind of tired. But all right, guys, y'all take care. We love y'all. Please be safe out there, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later, my friends. Catch you tomorrow.